Hi, I'm Jim O'Connor, and this is the Married Guy's Guide to Life. Today's installment, the triple-forte cymbal solo. Okay, it wasn't a solo, but it felt like a solo. There are defining moments in every young man's life. For me, it was the 1982 Iowa High School State Concert Band Competition. It was a date with destiny. I could feel myself start to sweat. It was a beautiful late April Friday night, and our concert band was in place on the main stage of the new Performing Arts Center on the campus of the North Iowa Area Community College in Mason City. I was a senior and was moments away from performing in my last state concert band competition. From the front of the stage, Mr. Sidney Stott, legendary band instructor, gave me his infamous stare. His body language was telling me in no uncertain terms to calm the heck down and keep my nerves under control. The challenge before us. The state of Iowa has a rich history of producing great high school bands. For instance, the Academy Award-winning movie The Music Man was modeled after Meredith Willson's hometown of Mason City, just 30 miles from my hometown of Osage. Now, each year, Osage Community High School competed in the Mason City Music Festival and Marching Band Competition. Osage always received a superior rating, the highest award possible. Osage also always received a superior rating in the annual Iowa High School State Concert Band Competition. We were just that good. It was our tradition. And it was our tradition because of Mr. Sid Stott. Sid Stott fought in Europe during World War II. Upon returning home, he studied piano performance and in 1951 earned his master's degree from Iowa State Teachers College. He taught instrumental music at Cal Community Schools before moving to Osage, where he'd spend the next 37 years teaching and inspiring. Sid was the epitome of balance. He was a professional, yet not rigid. He was firm, yet compassionate. He knew when to push, when to laugh, and when to cry. In short, he was a great role model. I loved band, and it's safe to say that all 100-plus kids who piled into the band room during third period each day agreed. Sid taught us to love making music, but more importantly, he taught us life lessons about teamwork, honesty, integrity, and sticking with something until you mastered it. Now, during the summer before my senior year, I decided to quit band. I detested our assistant band instructor, and I decided that I'd rather give up band than spend the whole marching band season being berated by that guy. Sadly, I concluded it was time to hang up my drumsticks. Happily, Sid got wind of my plan and talked me out of it. I'm so very grateful that he did. Thunder from heaven. As we had moved on to the NIAC stage, I could see the three judges seated at their tables in the auditorium, busily filling out their critiques of the band that preceded us. We were settled in, waiting for the signal to begin. The first of our three pieces would be Alleluia Laudamus Te by Alfred Reed. Sid was a big believer in go big or go home, so we were leading with a piece that was challenging to say the least. What made it so memorable for me was one note, the very first note on the percussion line. Actually, it was the very first note of the piece, the almost unheard of triple-forte cymbal crash. Now let's be honest. Most concert music writers treat percussion at best as a necessary evil, something to keep the beat and once in a while add a little accent to the beauty and majesty of the band. And at worst, percussion is an afterthought. Percussion and percussionists are all too often kept at bay, like that dog chained up in the backyard. They're acknowledged from a distance, but never allowed inside the house. Sid didn't see it that way. He treated percussion like any other section of the band. We had a job to do, and he expected nothing less than excellence. Practice for this competitive performance had begun in earnest immediately upon our return to school in January after Christmas break. Every day for nearly 4 months we had practiced and practiced and practiced, honing, refining, and fine-tuning some more. But it was worth it. We had our reputation and the reputation of all the Osage High School bands before us to uphold. Hard work was just part of the deal. As part of our preparations, all of the percussion equipment had been given a thorough going over. Sid gave me special permission to take the massive 18-inch Zildjian concert cymbals home so I could use a special solvent to clean and polish them. By the time I was finished 2 days later, they shone like the shields of Solomon's soldiers. Blinding. 2 judges signaled to Sid that they were ready for us to begin. Each judge would tape record comments as well as provide a written ballot. The 3rd judge kept writing, seemingly oblivious to our need to get the show started. As I waited, I remember Sid introducing us to the piece back in January. "This song opens with a fanfare," he explained. "The goal is to paint the picture of the gates of heaven swinging open, filling the universe with thunderous music, and the opening fanfare is accentuated by a thunderclap." That's where I came in, me and my triple-forte cymbal crash. I'd done it hundreds of times in practice. Bend the knees and drop while simultaneously swinging your arms out to their full 6-foot span, then stand up briskly and bring the cymbals together with the right hand disc making initial contact at about a 10-degree angle. Now, the angle was critical. If you came in flat, you'd create a vacuum that'd suck the cymbals together, and the only sound you'd hear would be a dull thud. Follow through by extending the arms straight up for maximum effect. After an appropriate pause, bring them down, clamp them against your body, one under each arm. I was ready to go, more than ready, and Sid could see it in my eyes. I got the message in his stare. I'd wait. Now Sid was getting anxious. He kept turning to check on judge number 3, only to have to turn back to us and mime, "Wait." Finally, the 3rd judge gave us a dismissive backhanded wave to go ahead, and in what I saw as a very rude affront, he kept his head down and continued to write. Apparently, Sid took it the same way. He turned and just before stepping onto the riser, looked directly at me, gave me a smile and a nod. I knew exactly what to do. The dog was off the chain. Sid stepped up, retrieved his director's baton, and lifted both arms above his head, the ready signal. 2 flicks of his wrist transmitted the tempo. As the baton arched up a 3rd time, the band was ready to come alive. I bent my knees. The cymbals went out as far as I could reach. The baton came down, and right on cue, I gave it everything I had. The explosion that followed was nothing short of cosmic. The crash was so loud, in fact, it completely caught judge number 3 by surprise. It was like he'd been jolted by electricity or something. He fell off his chair, his papers hit the floor, and his pencil went flying. The other 2 judges smiled and tried to hide their laughter as they continued to fill out their ballots. 3 days later, we filed into the band room to hear the results. Mr. Stott was very proud to report we'd kept the winning streak alive with yet another superior rating. He'd go on to share specific critiques with each of the sections, but he wanted to share one comment for the whole band. It was the recording from judge number 3. We could hear papers being hastily shuffled in the background. Then, Osage High School, first piece, Alleluia Laudamus Te, cymbals. You could back it off a little bit. Keeping it simple, Sid turned to face the band, looked at me in the back of the room, and while unsuccessfully trying to stifle a belly laugh, said, "Jim, well done." My high school band career was now officially over, and I'm proud to report it ended on a high, loud note. God bless all percussionists everywhere.